In business news, the Central Bank of Nigeria in a two-day strategic session for members in preparatory for their first MPC meeting under the tenure of Mr. Olayemi Cardoso as governor. The meeting is scheduled to hold for Monday, February 26th and 27th. And ahead of that meeting, we spoke to the Chief Executive Officer of Economic Associates, Dr. Ayo Teriba, who bared his mind on some expectations on that meeting. He spoke on Business Nigeria flagship program.
And they have a lot of rebuilding to do from inside out. So how do I want to feel? We had an anticipatory period in which we had an acting governor, and it was not clear if he was going to be confirmed or not. Eventually, we have Mr. Cardoso, and he's set about it. We have to wish him luck and hope that he will come up to date with the backlogs that he has had to clear and begin to rebuild all the, monetary and financial policy guardrails that have been demolished by the leadership that they replaced. Basically, that would be my response to that. It's something that is of concern not only to him, but it should be of concern to every Nigerian, that is on a task of rebuilding an institution that is probably now at its worst, since it was created in 1959.
Meanwhile, the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry is asking the federal government to adopt prudent fiscal policy measures complementary to the efforts of the CBN to address Nigeria's macroeconomic challenges. The LCCI made these recommendations at its State of the Economic briefing for the first quarter of 2024. According to the LCCI, led by its president, Mr. Gebeli Dahosa, the chamber is concerned about the emerging impact of the increased military activities in Ukraine, Russia, and Israel-Palestinian wars, adding that the outlook for emerging and developing economies remains risky and elevated debt and financing costs.
Our recommendations. We urge government to adopt prudent fiscal policy measures and investment-friendly tax policies that work in tandem with the efforts of the central bank to tame inflation. 2, we commend the President for his recent directive to reduce entourage size for both domestic and international travel by 60%. We, however, urge other arms of government, including state governors, the National Assembly, and state assemblies to adopt the same level of fiscal discipline, as well as encourage a transparent and accountable system of implementing the directives. We actually believe it should trickle down to even the local governments so that we see a total impact of this prudence that the President has set the tone at the top.
The Nigerian Chamber of Shipping is taking proactive measures to transform the country's shipping landscape. Engaging with NNPC shipping management and the shipping community, the focus is on fostering indigenous capacity through collaborative efforts. Ifunaya Eze reports.
Despite global trade being predominantly driven by shipping, Nigeria's involvement has been consistently minimal. Nigerian Chamber of Shipping aims to alter this scenario by convening a crucial meeting with NNPC Shipping's Managing Director and shipping operators. The primary agenda is to explore collaborative partnerships for the development of Nigeria's shipping capacity.
This is a partnership, a collaboration that we have been looking forward to, and this opportunity will change a lot of things in the shipping landscape. And we are so happy about NNPC. Today they come with an open arm and say we want to build partnership. We want to, together with you, develop capacity. We want to create jobs. We want to bring all this business that before is no more here, to bring it back to Nigeria.
We, as a private company, and the indigenous ship owners themselves as private companies, will come together, and as businessmen we will find ways of doing more together.
During the interactive meeting, opportunities that remain underutilized were emphasized, along with identified limitations hindering indigenous capacity growth.
If you give us a platform, we can collaborate with international people. We bring the best, like the crude oil that they are supplying Dangote refinery. It is a shame that that foreigners are coming to this place to do that kind of job without passing it through Nigerians. Nigerians are losing importance.
If it has to do with capacity and potentials, we do have that. But we have not been given the opportunity to play in that regard.
Private sector operators are spearheading this shift in the shipping narrative, anticipating government support through a viable policy framework.
This is in line with also what government, this present administration is saying, that private sector should be in the forefront. And we are happy to lead. And we are not, it doesn't mean that we're not going to engage government. We're going to engage them. There are some policies which we believe, if you're operating within Nigeria, need to be looked at. So we will discuss with them on those policies.
Members of Nigeria's shipping community believe that an effective networking system will enable them to capitalize on prevailing opportunities within the sector. Ifunanya Eze, TVC News, Lagos.
To the stock market, where investors are holding the shares of GlaxoSmithKline can now look to receiving their last cash payments from the company. This follows approval of the exit scheme by the Securities and Exchange Commission. Market editor Efengakop reports.
The Securities and Exchange Commission has accepted the withdrawal of shares of pharmaceutical company GlaxoSmithKline from the stock markets. This is coming after a court-ordered meeting of shareholders of the company, which approved the terms of exits of the firm. A recent notice filed at the stock market by GSK said the company will pay cash reward of 17 naira 42 kobo per share for every unit of stock held by any investor. Approval by SEC is the last hurdle that GSK needs to be able to exit the Nigerian stock markets. The pharmaceutical company says it is leaving Nigeria due to difficulties in carrying out its drug manufacturing. Going to the trading floor, the market stays bullish, with higher prices helping investors to make profits on their investments. Index moved above full percentage point as stock sellers hashed their way. Ethanol oil picked the biggest gaining point, just as many others supported the positive trades. Cadbury traded downward following sales pressure, while Access Holding, African Prudential Insurance, Analysing and ICO Insurance all had weak trades. Efyong Ekop, TVC News, Lagos.
And finally, oil prices lost more ground earlier today as economic headwinds pressured the global oil demand, and the outlook can offset geopolitical concerns in the Middle East and the attack on Russian fuel export terminal over the weekend. Brent crude fell 23 cents to sell at $78.33 per barrel. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude is down 28 cents to sell at $73.13 per barrel. That's Bonnie Light is also on the upward trend of 0.53, selling at $79.49. And the OPEC basket, crude dealers are offering $79.39 after a price jump of 1.29%. That's business news. Next is sports. Stay with us.